It's so cute when the silent one and then they point to you and you're like, you gotta start it. Guys, welcome to the Comedy Store podcast. I would say usually I'm Eleanor Kerrigan and then point to Rick Ingram. He's not here tonight. Rick had some family stuff to do, but we are here with the great Giulia Rozzi.
Yeah, hi.
Say it right?
Yeah,
Rozzi?
you said it. Wait, are we filming too?
I think so. Yeah, these two. We've been filming lately.
Okay, cool.
Hold on a second.
I just wanted to. Okay.
You have a hair and makeup person.
Yeah.
We have Brian Scalaro on.
The whole thing is like podcast is supposed to be like face for radio, and then you're like, hey.
You ever show up to a podcast in like pajamas and you're like, oh shit, filming?
My least favorite thing about stand up, well, there's a few things, but is when I've been home all day and like my workout clothes but never exercised, and then I have to take them off to go do stand up.
Yeah, taking off the soft clothes is a problem. I love the soft clothes. I would live in them.
I mostly wear soft. I mean, this is soft. This is a onesie.
But that looks so nice. But at least it looks like you took care of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I put in 15 minutes of effort.
See?
Yeah.
But Brian Scalaro was like, you got to tell somebody if you're filming. And I'm like, what? You're a dude. Like,
yeah.
He's like, oh, I would have dressed. I go, in a suit? Like, what?
Do a lot of people watch the film?
The film?
Yeah. This film?
It's a Scorsese film.
Yeah.
And I love when people say film. Did you ever say
No.
that? Oh, I fucking hate it. I'll flip out. I hate when people take certain common basic words and they're like, ooh, film. Make it fancy. But we do it on YouTube now.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a big, people love to watch YouTube because they're like,
Yeah.
we want to see you do the podcast.
Yeah.
Like,
Are
they
people
don't
pretty
believe
nice?
us. Huh?
People pretty nice?
No, but we
Oh.
encourage not nice, Rick and I. We're very
Oh.
negative and we enjoy it. So because I don't know if you know Rick, he was a door guy here, but he's like very, he hates everything.
Okay.
So, I am most of the time on the same page with him.
Okay.
I'm a tad more positive.
Okay.
And one time, just to offset the balance, we had Steve Simone as a co-host. And people were like, whoa, way too positive. Like, uncomfortable. But Brody Stevens used to say that Rick Ingram's so negative that he actually becomes positive because it goes so far that it comes back.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, Rick, see that? There's positivity coming your way.
Cool.
But I'm excited to have you on because tonight you were brought up as a new paid regular.
Yes.
By our old producer, Ari Manis. I'll give his whole name. So shit on him. Because you've been a regular here. Like when I was waiting tables, you were a regular here.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
I was regular when I was 12.
18.
No. Yeah. I got made a regular.
By Mitzi, though.
By Mitzi.
That's a old school.
While I was on here on vacation.
You were out here on vacation.
Yeah.
From where?
Not vacation. Well, so I had just graduated college. Okay. So I apologize for anyone who listens to every podcast I've been on, which is, tons and tons of people to listen to every. They're like, Julia's on. I told this story many times. So whatever.
I can't wait.
I was in college.
Okay.
And graduating college, I had done, I'm going to air quote stand up. I mean, I think at like a bar, dabbled, but I would like sit on a stool and just be like, what's up with farting? Like it was very, but I was having fun and that's what was fun about it. Yeah. So maybe did it like 5 times. And then I was supposed to go back home to Boston. I was going to go to grad school for expressive arts therapy.
Okay.
I wanted to work in entertainment or the arts. I just didn't really know how you went about it. And then my friend Margot was driving cross country with a couple other friends. Someone canceled. She's like, hey, do you want to come cross country? I was like, oh, that'll be fun to do before grad school. And then Maria.
Oh, yes.
My best friend, Maria Freda.
One of my favorite people.
Yeah. My best friend from high school, she was a waitress here at the time. And she was like, oh, when you're out here, I'll make sure you get up at open mic. Yeah. And I didn't know anything about the store. I didn't know who Mitzi was. I was like, that'd be so cool to do stand up on the Sunset Strip. I'd never been to LA. Oh, no. I'd been to LA once, but I didn't know anything.
No.
So I come Sunday night. There's like the line outside. I just came to, she's like, let me just introduce you to the host, like, a little bit before.
Do you remember who the host was?
It was Bobby Lee.
Oh.
Yeah. So Bobby Lee was the host. And a minute into meeting him, he's like, what's your deal? And I was like, what? And he's like, do you want to do this? And I was like, wait, what? I was just visiting. And he's like, do you want to do this as a career? And I was like, I don't know. Like, it was
like, why are you so aggressive?
Yeah, he was so passionate. It was so cute. And then
people usually see him as cute in the beginning, and then they get to know him, and they're like, God damn it.
But then I went up. I did 3 minutes, and I think I had the only joke that I remember, I believe that I did, was about the Olive Garden.
Okay.
I was like,
makes sense.
Yeah, I was like, oh, when you're here, your family, something like, that means not my family, or something like you get hit in the face. It was something about violence
Italian.
against children.
Yeah.
And pasta. And I don't remember what else I said, and then I got off stage and Bobby was like, Mitzi wants to talk to you. And I go, who?
No.
Yeah.
Everybody that showcased for her that didn't know her did great.
Because
no pressure.
I am trying to get that, whatever that, I want a pill, that energy. I want that pill, and like I would take it every day.
Yeah.
Because it was just pure like joy. I mean, I was fresh out of college. The world was full of endless possibilities.
Where'd you go to school?
Ithaca, upstate New York.
Oh, nice.
You know, there was no social media.
Right.
So it was just me and my brain, you know.
You and your brain, but what I remember, I don't know if it was your showcase or just watching you after you got past being on, like, you just didn't give a shit. You were just like,
oh,
free.
yeah.
I love that.
Well, because I
that
didn't
freedom
know.
Is amazing.
I didn't know much about comedy. I just knew what I thought was funny.
Right.
And so that's what I did. And then so I go up to Mitzi and she's eating popcorn.
Naturally.
Was
Peter Chen next door, a little Asian guy? You want more popcorn, Mitzi? Inappropriate.
Someone was next to her. I don't remember who it was, but she was like, what's your name? You know, and I was like, Giulia Rozzi. She's like, I don't know. She's like something like, you're good, or, you know, you got potential, whatever she said. And then I'm going to just insert. Yeah.
She's just blowing you off. It's all right.
No, but because I didn't know that it was a.
No, I get it.
I mean, the weird thing was I started to feel that it was a big deal because it was like being brought to this person, like very like Godfather-like. And then she goes, I want you to be a regular. I don't know do they still do regular and paid regular now?
Non-paid.
They still do non-paid?
Yes,
okay,
non-paid.
So she was like, I want you to be a regular. And I was like, okay. And so then
she didn't say paid regular.
No, it was regular. So then I go back to in the back to see Maria. And I was like, she's like, how'd it go? Or I don't know if she even got to see me. And she was like, what happened with Mitzi? And I was like, she asked me to be a regular? Like, I was like, so. Like,
the whole kitchen looks at you like,
I mean, like,
fuck
people are like dropping trays or like, what? So the next day I called, but I knew it was, but then people were explaining to me that it was a big deal.
Yeah.
So then I have this really cute photo of me in, I don't know if it was the main room bathroom, but I had Maria take a photo of me like going, yay. And it was like a film photo. That's my age. And then I called,
wait for it to get developed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I called my mom. I don't know if I called her I think I called her at night because it was probably like 8:00 here. Right, 9:00.
Yeah,
so it's like 11:00 there. And this is the weird. I have such a. I'll get to it, but I call my mom from Italy, who like knows nothing. I didn't know anything about entertainment. She didn't know anything. I go, so this lady who's like a big deal, who owns like a great club, like said this to me, and like I guess I'm gonna like work here or something. And she started crying. She didn't even know. She didn't even know what any of this meant. She just like felt that it was a good idea. And so then she called my grandmother at midnight, and then she started crying. And literally to this day, my mom will be like, "Remember that lady? She believed in you." Like, and just this mythical figure, right?
I love it.
So that was that night. So then I called Duncan. Trussell was the booker
the talent
at the time.
coordinator,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I called him the next day.
The Sheik is what we called him.
So I was told to call him, and I was like, hey, this is like Giulia, and like Mitzi like told me to call you. Like I was so I had like glitter on my face. I was doing ecstasy all the time.
I don't see why not.
Yeah. And he was like, oh yeah, I heard about you. Just so you know, this never happens. And at the time, I think I was the youngest girl here, which, like, man, do I wish I held on to that for a little longer. But and I was like, yeah, I don't live here. And he was like, I would move if I were you. And I was like, okay. okay, let me think about it. So then I went back to Boston.
So this is like 2001, maybe?
End of 2000.
End of 2000. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just thinking of when Duncan.
Yeah. So it was
Duncan's
end of
reign.
2000, and I was like, okay, cool. And then so I went back to Boston and like talked to my parents and was like, can I take the money that you're going to put for grad school and get a car and live in LA? And they were like, again, Italian immigrant parents.
Right.
They were like, yeah.
I love them.
I mean, it was weird.
Yeah, because they're never like that. See,
No.
that was another thing that would connect me to you. Like, you would do your mom. You would do the accent.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what I grew up around.
But then, so
I love that. That's my, like, favorite. Like, it made me feel like, oh, I know her. I'm at home.
Well, I'll get to it after, but, like, what's so sad is I pulled back. So you were saying, like, I didn't give a fuck and, like, all this stuff when I was first here. That's because I didn't know anything or know anybody. And then, I don't know if this happens to everyone, but then when you, like, start watching a lot of comedy.
You start caring.
You start, like, I remember for a while I was like, oh, man, like, doing the accents hack. And, like, this is dumb. And, like, oh, this is not how you're supposed to do comedy. And, like, it was a real bummer.
All these things come, and it's people saying it, and then you're watching it and doing it to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen comics break down other comics, like, especially as a waitress, like, especially a new person that comes in, they're like, yeah, dude, you shouldn't do that. Like, Rick used to do impressions. They're like, don't ever do that again. It's awful. It's terrible. You're not being true to who you are. And he was like, oh, I thought it was funny. Like,
yeah.
But he went through such a transition to get.
It's hard.
And I watched that, so, like, starting so late for me, like, I was waitress here for so long, and then seeing that when I started, it even happened to me. And I was like, what am I doing? I already saw this. I know what I think is funny. Fuck these people.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard, though. Like, so.
Yeah.
Well, because I moved back here. I moved here.
Right.
And then I did.
What's good is you had Maria. Who,
yeah. So this is how magical the story is, right?
Okay, I love this.
Well, because. Okay, so I moved here a week before I moved. Maria was like looking, this is again before social media. So she was like looking on bulletin boards for apartments for me. And I was going to stay on her couch. She lived in a 1-bedroom with another girl. Okay. And I was like, you don't have to look for apartments. And she's like, what? I'm like, I have a weird feeling your roommate's going to move out. She's like, she's never leaving this apartment. Like, she found it. She loves it. I'm like, I don't know. I just have this like weird feeling. The day before I get here, she calls. She's like, well, she's moving out. And she's told me to tell you can have the apartment with me. So I moved in. I literally was like ushered into an apartment with my best friend.
Holy shit.
I know. And then I come and do my first spot. I think it was going to be like a 5-minute spot on Sunday. And then I got passed as a regular.
Wow.
So I do that spot. And then Mitzi just made me a paid regular. And, you know, I could feel the not so kind eyes.
Of course.
Of many door guys. But I didn't even notice. Because I was just like, cool.
Hey,
had a
guys.
lollipop in my mouth, was just like skipping away, being like, isn't life grand? You know, like, what do you mean LA is hard? Like, it just.
This is easy, guys.
Yeah. And it was a really like.
Who says they don't like women in comedy?
Oh, yeah. And I thrived. I was like, I'm the only girl in a lineup. Great. I'm special. Because I didn't know I was supposed to be mad.
Back then, Mitzi used to put a ton of women on.
Oh, I don't necessarily mean here.
Okay.
I just mean
like,
in general.
wait, yeah.
Like every now and then when you were like but there was still like people being like,
because comics used to get mad that Mitzi used to give certain girls spots.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like, they would always talk shit. Like, how dare they? How dare she's giving this idiot. She's a girl stinks. This one's terrible. That one's blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, that girl's funnier than you. Like, you just have to let it go now.
Yeah.
But they would always look to hurt. I mean, there was when like Kelly Kirsten, she was always in the OR. Like, were you here with her?
I think
Kelly,
so. Blonde?
Tall, blonde.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very funny. I remember, like, Joe Rogan used to be like, who the fuck is this girl? She's hilarious. Like, he was the only crazy guy that would support women. Do you know what I mean? Like, most of them were like, get him out. She's awful. This one stinks. There was Sherry Shepherd, Kim Tavares, Retha Jones. I mean, we had, like, Judy Gold moved back to New York. I was so upset because she was my fucking favorite.
Well, even like I ended up I didn't know how to befriend comics then because I also, a bunch of my like college friends lived here. So I didn't know that I had to like integrate.
Yeah.
I was so young. So I would come here and like, I would mostly hang out with the waitresses.
Yeah, smart.
Because my best friend was waitress. You know, I became friends with you, Melissa McQueen.
Melissa's
Dava.
one of my favorite ex-waitresses, Dava.
Yeah, Dava Krause. Like I would like
Dava in forever. She's a Philly girl too.
Yeah, like I would like hang out with all those people because that's where I felt comfortable because it was really uncomfortable and it was just, and especially when there were, anytime I'd be with a bunch of group of guys and like there was a ton that were like Ari was always really nice to me, Steve Renazizi, Aaron Cater, like Maz Jabbar, like there was tons of guys.
Yeah, that's a good group to come in with.
Yeah, like there's a bunch of really nice guys.
Was Ari past at that point or was he still a door guy? Yeah,
he was still a door guy.
It took Ari. He's up there with the Gary Shandling. It took him forever to get in.
But there was like a couple door guys who hated me. There was one night Mitzi would have me host potluck a lot.
Okay.
And
one of my favorite things to do, by the way.
Yeah, I would host potluck and then I would always be on the theme shows. I'd be on whatever the girls
of the Comedy Store.
Yeah, and then Night of a Thousand Guidos.
Naturally. Great show, by the way.
Yeah.
Great show. Nothing better than coming in and Mitzi being like, oh, you know what you need to do? What? I got all this red and white, like picnic table. You have to put it on every table in the main room. Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah.
And I'd be taping red and white so it would look like, I'm like, this is so racist, but amazing. Let's do it.
But it was
one of my favorite shows. Kathy Moriarty used to come.
Yeah.
Luca Polanco used to host it. Dom Irrera had a fight with Dice in there. One of their infamous fights.
Physical?
No, just verbal. But it was Luca's fault. That's the part that Luca never stood up and said, he went on the radio and said, I got Dice coming. And so the place was sold out.
For Night of a Thousand Guidos?
Yes. And
he's an Italian.
Exactly. But here's Luca.
I thought he was forever.
Really?
Yeah, of course I did.
Really? Yeah, no, I knew immediately. I was like, there's something off. I sleep with a lot of Italians as an Irish girl who falls for a lot of Italian boys. But Luca went on the radio and said, I have Dice Clay coming. So he did it. Mitzi didn't book him. Nobody booked him. Luca did it. And then Dice came in. Kathy Moriarty showed up because they were on Bless's house together. Like, it was a crazy night. And Andrew almost didn't want to go on because he's like, wait, it's a theme show? It's an all Italian show? Why are you doing that? It's stupid. And then Luca put him up. And Dom and everybody was like, fuck this. We're leaving. Mike Ricca. They all got mad.
Oh, my God, Ricca. Is he
remember
around?
Ricca? He lives in New York.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he has a really cool podcast that he does. He's pro-Trump, but whatever. You know? Whatever.
It's best of luck.
It's a political podcast that he does that I believe is like way up there. But Mike was one of my favorites. He was funny, nutty. Yeah. But I'm saying like they all band against and got mad at Dice. And then Dom and Dice had it out, and it was like, wait, that's not my fault. That Luca booked me. And then Luca never stood up for him. And I'm like, dude, you just caused a big fight in the main room for no reason because you put a Jew in the middle of, It's Fun to Be a Jew on next month.
It's fun to be a Jew.
That's what Mitzi used to call it.
I mean,
She was Nutty Butters, God love her.
I mean, I used to do that show. I did, I would host in the OR, and this one night, do you remember the guy that would dress like a pimp? Who would come?
Which guy?
The guy. He's like the older black guy. He would wear it looked like a Halloween pimp costume.
Okay.
And he would come on Sundays, and he would just yell things at the stage. One night, he yelled something.
He's black. This guy. Okay.
He called me like a bitch or something like that from the thing. And I was like, all right. And I was like trying to calm the audience down. And then he stood up and was like, I'm going to punch you in the mouth. And I was like, excuse me, door guys. Hello, please. These two door guys just stood in the back and laughed. And
I waiting tables? I would have tackled him.
I don't know I don't remember who was there, but I was just like, excuse me, hello, anybody? I got glitter in my eyes. I was so And that like
dental industry.
no one cared. And then I had so many, oh my God, Eleanor, I had so many things happen to me that first year that like started to slowly crush my spirit because again,
because you were like flying
I mean,
on
it
marshmallows.
but it wasn't even, the thing is my floatiness wasn't coming from any sort of like entitled place or like it was complete cluelessness. Like I was just, and that's why I say I've been trying to get that back. Yeah. I don't think I ever will fully because I know too much.
They ripped it out of you.
But it I mean, you know, I wish I could have had, when they say like eyes on your own paper.
Right.
If there's a way to implement that into your brain, like it works really well. But there was another incident. So I had that incident. Then I had 2 different comics, women. I won't say who. I'll tell you off air.
You can.
I don't want to.
We have a disclaimer.
Nah.
We say so many names that the first 2 weeks of this podcast, we had to get a disclaimer because we were shitting on people from the Comedy Store and they called in and complained.
I mean, I had 2 different women accuse me of stealing their material.
Always funny. Always funny.
It was my first few months here and I had a joke about.
Were they older?
Older.
Okay, because that I saw a million times. I think there was like, I think I know who they are. That's how often they did it.
So this one, I had a joke about, I would, very original.
Okay.
I would use the mic like it was a dick.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You invented that.
I invented it. I copywrote it. And I would talk about, I think what it was like morning wood. I mean, brilliant, groundbreaking stuff. You know, just the whole like.
This was your like. Oh yeah, getting it.
Yeah, wake me up. Whatever, right. So I did that joke, and then this comic. I think what it was that I don't think. Did she see me? Anyways, she was like, "Oh, you got to stay and watch my set," and I was like, "Yeah," and then I didn't because I didn't want to.
I hate when people ask you to watch sets.
Yeah, I didn't know why she wanted me to, but she was like, "Oh, stay and watch my set." I was like, "Okay," and then I left. Right. So then I did my infamous dick morningwood joke, and she goes, "Oh, hey, she called me. She got my number from the store, called me, and she was like, "Hey, I saw you do my joke." And I was like, "Oh, what joke?" She goes, "Well, I did it that night when you stayed to watch my set." And I didn't have the heart to say I didn't watch her set. So am I making sense?
Yes, but so I would have said immediately, like, you know what? I'm an asshole. I didn't stay.
But you
didn't. Okay,
I don't know. I just was like, she called me and I was like, "How'd you get my number?" She's like, "I got it from the store." And she was like, "That's my bit." She got upset with me. And I was like, okay. So I think I stopped. I was like, this is a stupid bit, right? So I let it go. But then she like wasn't getting a lot of spots.
Okay. So now it's your fault.
This breaks my heart.
No,
I just like, it was maybe 6 months later and I'm pulling out of the Comedy Store out of the parking lot and I was like, I'm literally backing my car up and she runs up my car, starts banging on the window, goes, Julia, hey. And she's like, "Roll down your window." And I put that in my window and I go, "Yeah." And she has like her little hands in my window. She goes, "I haven't been getting spots lately. You know anything about it?" And I was like, "No, I don't know anything about you." Like I didn't know any of her.
She's from New York?
I don't know where she's from, but so that was the first one. So that one was like a little kooky. But then a month later, I mean, I was like,
you're the new kid on the block that they were like, "Hey, let's."
Oh yeah, I mean, it was probably because I wore pink pleather pants.
Okay.
And I was like real petite because I was on an all protein diet. I was boxing and I was bulimic. So I was. I was killing it.
Abby.
I was in a really floaty place, but I also like hated my body and myself. But
I can throw up on cue, guys.
Yeah. Sorry to bring that up. But this other comic, so a month later, I'm on the show in the main room. It was one of all the women shows.
Okay.
And a female comic comes up who has apologized later, so I definitely won't say her name, but she comes up to me.
Got it.
And she was like, "Hey, are you Giulia Rozzi?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I've heard about you. It is so nice to meet you." And I was like, "Thanks so much." And I was so happy because nobody talked to me.
Yeah.
Like nobody, not
They
nobody.
hated you.
I mean, except for like those guys that I mean, that's not true. There was a lot of like Freddie Lockhart. Like there was like a lot of like wonderful people.
We have a lot of cool people that work here, but then there's vindictive little.
So I was like, oh, that was really like, you heard of me. Like, that's cool. Okay. Again, I've only been in town 4 months at this point, maybe. Right. So I go up and I do, again, groundbreaking joke.
I can't wait. Same one or different?
No, different.
Okay. Well, obviously.
This was when Who's Your Daddy was popular.
Okay.
And the joke was, who's your daddy? I'll tell you who my daddy is. He's a 5'2" Italian man who would kick your ass if you knew where your dick was right now. Closer. Early 2000s. Yeah. Early 2000s.
HBO special.
Yeah.
I get it.
So I do it. And then this woman goes up after me and she does a Who's Your Daddy joke. And hers was, who's my daddy? And it was something like, he's a paraplegic vet. But I can't remember what the punchline was. And I was sitting with Maria and another friend who came to see me. And they go, oh, isn't that your joke? And again, I was like clueless. I go, oh, that's weird. Probably same brain. Anywho, do you guys want to go to the club? Like, I was like, couldn't care. I was just so happy. Yeah, I was 22. Yeah. You know? And so I was like, cool, great show. Bye, everybody. And I was like, this lady was really nice backstage. And the next day... I'm driving on the 101. I answer I think it was a Motorola Razr phone. I don't know why I answered the phone on the highway. And again, it was
a comic.
And then I ended up calling Duncan and being like, you have to stop giving out my number. So she calls, she goes, hey, Giulia, remember me from last night? And I was like, yeah.
Hey, you want to go to lunch?
It's like, hey, girl. Girls at the Comedy Store.
Oh my God, this is gonna be so
great. She was like, listen, I had I can't believe this is
I love
real. It. She's like, I had heard you've been doing my joke around town. And and I just want to let you know, I taped you and I'm gonna show Mitzi.
Oh, good.
And you can't just, and I quote, waltz into town and do my joke. And I started crying. Yeah. Because I was like, why is everyone so mean to me? Like, I just didn't understand. Just
why do they keep giving my number out?
She just want to make people laugh.
Oh,
and
fuck.
So I was like, I'm sorry, but like, I don't know why you're yelling at me. Like, I didn't know you had a joke like that. And I've been doing that joke for like, I think 5 months. And she was like, yeah, well, it's not like yours is even well written. And then I go, okay. I'm like, I was so rational too. I was like, I understand that you're upset, but like, why are you being mean? Like, there's no reason. And I was like, and it is it was well written comparably. Yeah. I mean, it's hack at this point. And she was like,
but it's the same as hers.
Yeah.
So I don't understand.
And so, I mean, this was like a 20-minute conversation. It was a long conversation.
Holy shit.
And
Julia.
So I get off the phone with her. I call the store and I was like, hey, you have to, this is the second time this is happening. And then Duncan was like, you have to tell me who it is. Like, I really don't want to start drama. He's like, please tell me who it is. So I told him and he's like, I'll call you back. And I was like, fuck, like, I don't know what any of this means. So then he calls me back and he goes, I told Mitzi what happened.
It's all about who gets to Mitzi first. That's why.
And he said,
he was protecting you technically.
But I was like, but no, I don't. He goes, well, this is what she said, I don't like either of the jokes. Tell them both not to do it. And I was like, great. Done. But then
what a mediator.
Yeah. But then
Thanks,
but then this comic ended up coming up to me like 6 months later and was like, hey, just want to say like, you're great. Sorry about that. I was like, it's fine. Like, whatever.
Both of the jokes are terrible.
Yeah, she was like,
tell them to stop.
Yeah. Both of us to do it. And I'd also gotten the note to not do a lot of fart material. I was doing too much fart material.
You know that's funny that you say that because that's her least favorite.
Yeah.
Like when we would I would do showcases with her a lot, and I'd see somebody killing, and then they'd be like just so dumb, random side note, throw out, bass, and she would start scratching their fucking name, and I'd be like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, I got a call. I had a joke about like farting on the treadmill or something, and
Get rid of it.
Yeah, Duncan called and was like, Mitzi asked that you not do that joke anymore, and I was like, you're kidding, right? And so I stopped. But like, then I left LA like after 3 years.
So you stayed here for 3 years.
I was here for 3 years, but
the
wasn't.
first year was horrendous.
Well, no.
Here, though. I mean,
no, the first year was horrendous but amazing.
Okay.
Because it was like all these weird things were happening, but I still had like even when I hung up the phone with those two women, or even when like nobody helped me when the pimp was gonna hit me, he didn't, obviously.
It's hysterical. I can't think of who he is because I probably blocked him out.
But like even when all those things happened, I still was like, that was weird. Oh well, like I still had that like newness of, because I didn't know that this could be a job. I just was like, this is wild. This could be
You mean stand up in general?
Stand up entertainment. I mean, I just didn't stand up specifically because I didn't set out to be a stand up. Like I wanted to. I like television. I love sitcoms. Like that was what I wanted to work in, being funny.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, I wasn't like watching stand up nonstop as a kid and like really. I just like to talk and I'm naturally funny. Like that was really all it was.
Yeah.
And so I was here. Argus was also really kind to me. He got me a meeting with an agent. His type.
I mean, you're his.
But
I got the agent for you. Dude.
Yeah. You're good at impersonating everybody here.
No, Argus, that's Rick, and Kyle Dunnigan is taking it to another level. But Rick always does Argus for years, so it just But even like when I would wait tables and I would hear Argus, it got to the point where I knew his beats, if you will, and it was like, you baby boomers, and he'd flip his hair like I knew the hair flip. It's so weird.
It's so good. But it was so I was here.
What was the agent he sent you to?
It was Adam Sandler's agent.
That's good.
Gersh?
Okay.
Maybe. I don't remember. Danny something? Maybe it was a manager. I mean,
APA.
APA, yes.
And that's who he sends everybody to.
And I went, the guy,
Poor Danny.
I was 2 months in.
Yeah.
And he was like, so what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. What do you think I should do? I mean, like, I didn't know anything. I had another manager like woo the shit out.
Danny Robinson.
Yep.
In my
Is
head,
he still around?
Yeah, he's like semi-retired, but like he consults, whatever.
Okay.
I mean, he's been around for years.
I had another manager. Oh my God, this was another. So, okay.
He sends Rick there at least once a month.
Really? Still?
Rick, I got to get you an agent.
So like first year was this mix of like, whoa, people are weird, but like, cool, let's go dancing. Like it was like pretty floaty and fun. And then like year 2 and then definitely into year 3, I started to be like, what am I doing? Because like I didn't have a plan. Like I would like, I took classes at the Groundlings, and then the second I got a bad note, I was like, fuck you. Things aren't supposed to, I didn't know you had to work hard. Like, so it was this weird thing of like, it was so magical, but like, I didn't go through open mic. Like, I didn't do all that stuff. Yeah. So
did you work the other clubs like Laugh Factory, Improv?
No.
Nope.
Okay. I was mostly here, and then I would
got in at the Mecca, and you stayed at the Mecca.
Yeah, and then I would go and I did like classes at Improv Olympic, but like and I did a solo show at Improv Olympic, but like I didn't know. I did the haha.
Okay.
I won I was a contestant in Uncle Clyde's comedy contest.
See why not?
Yeah.
Uncle Clyde.
I don't know, it was some weird thing in North Hollywood called Uncle Clyde's comedy contest. And but the slow decline of like, oh, this, I don't know what I'm doing and this sucks, was like, then there was this manager who discovered me at Uncle Clyde's 2 months into comedy, and he comes up to me and he was like, you're gonna be the next Sarah Silverman. Like that was the quote, because that's what you said to every girl at that time, because God forbid a girl of her own personality. And
right.
So I was like, cool. So then I went to this. It was like a big management agency. I go, they valet my car. He brings his associate. They buy me lunch. They're like, we think you're great. What? And I was like, what? They're like, do you have any sitcom ideas? I'm like, I can come up with them. They're like, we love it. Like, it was, I mean, two months in LA, and I was just like, in my head, I was like, eating a tiny salad and just being like, Beverly Hills, like it was so great.
Like, what? Take off my top.
Yeah. But then I didn't know how to write a sitcom. I didn't know how to do comedy. Like, I didn't know anything. So I took forever to write this pilot, right? That they asked, I think, a year. I ended up writing 3 episodes of the show. It was just called The Giulia Rozzi Show. It was, I mean, I didn't know format. I was just like, my dad walks in and he's like, you guys are crazy. You know, like it was so just verbatim things. I sent it to them. So it was a year later. So I took a really long time. I sent it to them. Also should add that I also had stopped being bulimic at some point during this. So I'd put on a little bit of weight. Okay. So I send them the pilot. It's like a lot of emailing back and forth, not really getting a response. Then this is probably like toward the end of year 2, maybe starting year 3.
Okay.
I started to get panic, desperate energy because I was like, what am I doing here? This one manager said I was the next Sarah Silverman and now he's not returning my calls. And like, I just didn't, I don't know. I just like all the like floaty whatever, like disappeared hard.
Holy
and so shit. I convinced this manager to go to lunch with me again. He doesn't bring an associate. I think they valeted my car, but in my head they didn't.
No.
And I didn't eat.
Probably had to walk 6 blocks.
Yeah, 6 blocks. Meet him. I think I probably ate like a ham. Like I was like, because I wasn't dieting anymore. I was just like, whoa.
Just sawing.
But this is, so he said he couldn't even get through the first 10 pages. It was so unreadable. That's what he said. And then the bill came and we split it. And it was like, and that's when I was like, I'm leaving LA.
That's amazing.
I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And I feel sad. Like I felt really sad because whatever, all the like, it was, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to overanalyze it, but it was like, whatever. And maybe if I had different life skills or different mental whatever.
Like in my head, I'm like, fuck, I would have like jumped on with other comics, been like, hey man, they want me to write this.
I didn't know.
But I wouldn't have known either.
Like there was, I mean, I don't even know. There was the internet, but like I've been like trying to work on a joke about how like, yeah, of course people are successful when they're like 18 now. You can fucking Google it.
Yeah.
You can literally be like, how do I be successful? I had to like go look in the library.
Figure out. Use the Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah, microfiche.
Like, I don't.
Microfiche. But this is why it's all still, the whole journey with the comedy specifically is so mystical in a way for me because I'm like, fuck it, I don't want to be here. Also, I was in a relationship and it's my ex-husband and I love him, but we definitely, he's like my college boyfriend. So when I would have a bad set, he'd be like, oh, just cancel your show. Like he didn't know. He'd be like, oh, you're sad, you had a bad show. Like, do you want me to take you to dinner instead? Like, I just didn't have work ethic, and like that, like, I don't know. I didn't even know that I wanted to do this. So that all being said, I decided I want to leave LA. I didn't tell anyone. I just knew I was going to leave. And literally the week before I'm going to leave LA, because I don't even think I told the Comedy Store. Like, I think I just left. They called her like, hey, can we confirm the spelling of your name? Because we were going to put my name on the wall.
Right.
The week before I'm moving. But no, what was so beautiful about it is I was like, cool. Okay, well.
That was probably one of the last years she did it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't redo it until 2010.
Yeah. So I got my name on the wall. I took a picture in front of it and I was like, cool. Because I thought I was quitting comedy. I was like, oh, that was fun for 3 years. Now I have to go do something normal. So I was like, all right, well, if I never do anything else in my life, like I can take my kids there and like show them I got a name on a wall. And I still don't really understand what this place is, but boy, oh boy, did it like embrace me and then chew me up and spit me out. And, I was like 20 pounds heavier at this point. I mean, I was like downhill. So I moved to New York because it felt like a happy medium between not fully going back to Boston and like living in the burbs, but like, so I was in New York and then of course I was like, oh, well, I should like try to do comedy. And I think I called or emailed Caroline's and I was like, hey, I'd like a spot. And they were like, who are you?
I'm a Comedy Store regular.
Yeah, that's what I said. They go, what are your credits? And I go, I work at the Comedy Store. They're like, great. Do you have 20 friends to bring to this bringer show? I didn't know how anything worked. So I ended up, I kind of was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out of comedy for like my first 6 years in New York.
Wow.
Like I would like do it, but then I would like be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I would like do something else in entertainment.
Did you get, you would do something else in
I was
entertainment? Because I was going to say, did you get another job, something?
Yeah, I worked at like a film nonprofit. I like produced a theater show. I hosted a storytelling show. Like I was like.
So you were still in it.
Yeah.
To an extent.
I was doing improv. Like I was doing stand up, but not consistently. And long story longer. Anyways, then I got married and divorced. I moved to the suburbs of Boston. I really quit comedy. Yeah, you didn't know this?
Oh my God.
I like really was like, I'm done. It was almost as if I was gay and I was forcing myself to go to conversion camp. I was like, you gotta get this comedy out of you. Like
wearing a Mike Pence t-shirt.
Yeah, I was just like, stop trying to do comedy. Like
no.
I just assumed that was what was making me miserable, other than like my mental health, or like not wanting to be in this relationship, or like any
of those obvious.
It was like an elimination diet.
Wow.
You know, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna eliminate the boyfriend I've had forever.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know. So long story long, I moved to Boston. And then I was like, let me go to New York by myself for a little bit. And then when I was alone, I kind of stand-up was a little different.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting divorced. And I would say it wasn't until like 2009 that like I kind of understood that this was its own craft.
Yeah.
And like a job. So that's why it was like a weird. There's always this like I don't have this anymore, but I always had this weird like sadness, disappointment in myself that I didn't know what I know now in 2001 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Like
no, you're so young though.
I was
How
so
could
young
you know?
and like didn't know anything. So what's so magical about the Comedy Store for me was that then I came back and visited a couple times. That was when Tommy was working. I stopped by once.
Well,
he was a dick. Yeah, he was a dick to me, and I was like, "Fuck this." And
you're a woman, Julia.
Yeah. Yeah,
Rick would be all over that.
Yeah,
tormenting.
But it was so funny because I don't know if this is gonna be creepy to say, but I feel like I should just say it. So
please do. We shit on Tommy on a regular.
No, this isn't shit. This isn't. Oh. It's like kind of Well, okay. I'll say. So, I, got back in my groove of comedy over the last, I guess, 10 years, like did an album, did some TV stuff. Like I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, this is my job. Like this is great, and felt good and all this stuff.
It's
and
a 9-to-5 job. Like it's a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but I still will say like that thing we were talking about earlier of like not giving a fuck.
Right.
Like that is my number one goal.
Same.
Like I know I'm funny. I know I'm a good person. I know if I'm given a job, I can do it. But like that not giving a fuck is like the thing that like, and when I have shows where I don't give a fuck, like I
fly.
Like, on stage, I usually don't give a fuck on stage. It's the off stage that kind of fucks with me a little bit, and I'm sensitive.
Same.
And I'm okay with the fact that I'm sensitive and my feelings get hurt easily, and like that's who I am. I
don't think I have feelings anymore, but I have like definitely when I get off stage, I get like, oh, do you think they liked it? Like my insecurities kick in.
But that's being sensitive.
I guess you're right. When I'm on stage, I don't give a shit. I don't at all if they're into it or not. I do whatever. And then when I get off stage, I'm like, oh, that really sucked, or I didn't feel free enough. I beat myself up, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
My little sister always gets mad at me. She'll watch me on stage, and then she'll be like, she's gonna get off stage and hate herself. And like she could see it. She could see the switch in my head where I shut off or whatever. It's the weirdest thing. She's like the only one that can see it.
I mean, it is a mindfuck because
But we do it to ourselves, I think.
We do it to ourselves, and also, I mean, look, nobody is confident all the time. Like, there's no point in being like, that person's confident, and that person's insecure. Like, we all have moments, right? And I don't expect to be confident 100% of the time. I'm just saying that, like, the thing with I don't give a fuck, and I think why I shied away from it for a while, is to me, I interpreted it as being an asshole. Like sometimes to me, confidence, I think I've seen certain people who they're confident.
But those people are assholes.
Right. And their version of I don't give a fuck is like, oh, no, I don't give a fuck if I hurt you, if I step all over you.
Right.
And what I'm really happy about is I feel like now in my life, I'm surrounded by people who don't give a fuck. But in like my husband doesn't give a fuck. He's the nicest, most positive, coolest person.
He has great energy.
He has, and I'm not like blaming parents, but like I have immigrant, guilty, paranoid,
Catholic.
OCD, immigrant like parents. It's just
what part of Italy?
My mom is from Sperlunga, which is a beach town near Rome, and my dad is from Castroval, which is like literally across the way on the other side of Italy. It's like a farm area, but a lot of like people are out to get you, don't trust anyone, like all that kind of always complaining. Love them. They will fucking murder for me. But like, it's Italian people that are like, like, how are you? Like every time I call my mom, I'm like, did I interrupt you in the middle of like suicide? Like what is that? Like, are you okay? It's just like, it's hot. it's so heavy.
Like I said, I grew up in South Philly, so I'm surrounded.
Yeah.
There's maybe, I don't know, 10 Irish families in the neighborhood, maybe max. Because they used to tease us, but all the Irish family had a lot of numbers. Well, I'm one of 10. The Duffys and the Gallaghers were 11.
Mm-hmm.
The Lewises were 9. Like we all had numbers. And so the Martins, I think there's 5 of them, 4 or 5 of them, 5. I forget. That'll mess me up. But Georgie was like the biggest, so nobody bothered, So it was like the thing. But in the all Italian neighborhood, I was like, Mom, I think I have allergies. And she's like, ugh, you got to stop hanging with the Italians.
Yeah.
Like, what? I go, no, do I have allergies? She goes, honey, we're not Italian.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, only Italians get allergies? Yes. She should go about her business. And then when I moved to LA, I had allergies so bad that I was coughing up blood. So I go, Mom, guess who's Italian? Because it's true. It's like, but she grew up the same way.
Yeah.
A lot of Italian immigrants, like in the neighborhood, whatever. And so all her friends, she had a lot of Irish friends too, but it was just, we were surrounded. We were outnumbered, I should say.
Well, I think
so. They would not come to school if they had their menstrual cycle. And she was like, "What the fuck?"
I have my period. This is true. I have my period right now. My mom said, do you have to go do your show tonight? I'm not even. I mean, I was like, I guess I could cancel.
I had a friend, and she would be like, "Yeah, I'm bedridden." I'm like, "We're in 5th grade. I don't know what." She wouldn't come to school.
I mean, the Italianness part of it is sort of the complaining and the heaviness. I think and I don't want to speak for all. I mean, obviously we're all different, but like,
you can shit on them as a whole.
No. But I do think I do think in a lot of kids who are raised by immigrant parents.
Oh, okay.
There is, either a lot of them kind of become like, super, super intellect, like very, very successful, or at least the people I know, like Maria, who is also first generation.
Yeah.
We're called third culture kids because you don't fully feel like you're integrated into American culture, but I also I'm not in Italian culture because I didn't grow up there. So you sort of grow up like not knowing your identity in a weird way.
Yeah.
And so it probably fucks with your not giving a fuckness because my whole family is like, oh, you have to give a fuck because you have to assimilate and don't do the wrong thing. And what are people going to think? Like it was a lot of that. Like, what are people going to think?
Sure.
What's everyone else doing? Is that normal? Is that what people do here?
Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah. Whereas like my
right.
husband,
beer.
and he's just like,
where's he from?
He's from Chicago, so he's already got the like. I've seen people
confidence.
die. He's black, which he has said. He's like, well, I worry about getting killed, like in a traffic violation. I don't have time to worry if someone didn't invite me to their party,
right?
And I was like, oh, fair.
Okay. Different playing field.
His dad, they're American. His dad was an entertainment lawyer. His brother was an actor.
Oh, amazing.
So like. He's a man, so he can like shove his feelings down. He's got like a lot going for him. So he's like super positive and he doesn't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. And I'm super sensitive and I'm an empath. Like I feel it. I feel hard. So I don't know why this is all going this direction, but yeah, that I don't give a fuckness. Like, well, so I come back to LA. So how I got back to LA was, and this is where it might get kind of weird. So it was a year before I moved back here. And I'm pretty intuitive, like the same way I knew like I was going to have Maria's apartment. I say it to my husband, Will, who's also a comic. I go, I have a weird feeling we're going to move to LA next year. I feel like one of us is going to get a job. And he was
sure
like,
you're not psychic?
It's same as intuitive. I mean,
I guess.
Yeah. Everyone can be intuitive psychic if you tap into it. And this is a lesson in I want everyone to close their eyes.
Here's the deal.
So I was like, I have this weird feeling I'm going to move to LA next year. And he was like, okay, yeah, I could see that. And then, I don't know if this is weird to say, to go, and I have a weird feeling, I don't know, like, because I knew Mitzi had been sick forever. Like, I have a weird feeling, like, as soon as I move back, she's probably going to pass because I'm meant to go to her memorial.
That's where I saw you for the first time.
I don't know if this is weird to say. So I told someone that they're like, don't tell people that.
She's right there.
Yeah. I was like, hi. And I was like, I just have this, because I want, if she ever passes, I would want to be there. I don't think I would fly out for it, but I have this weird feeling.
See all your old friends.
Yeah. So
all the old women of the Comedy Store. So sweet.
Yeah. So Will gets it. We're here. We're supposed to be here for a month. Will gets this job that makes us stay. So we just stayed. And then a month later.
Okay. You killed Mitzi Shore. I like it. Okay.
And so
I was wondering who did it. I thought it was Polly, but I guess it was you.
I'm so sorry. I poisoned the popcorn. And I was
popcorn.
Yeah. And so I reached out to a couple people here and I was like, because I wasn't working here yet and I didn't know how to get back in or whatever. And I was like, hey, will you like make sure I get invited to the thing? So I come, you couldn't bring a +1 to the memorial.
Yeah, we had too many
people, which is fine.
Yeah.
So I got hammered before I got here. I was so nervous because it was like going to a high school reunion. Oh, yeah. So I had like 3 glasses of wine and smoked a lot of weed and I show up and I was like, whoa. Like, I see you. So here's the funny thing. I see the 2 door guys who didn't
immediately
protect me.
Okay.
And because those were the 2 I was like the most nervous to see because I was either going to yell or cry. And I was like, oh, because they hate me. And they come to, they go, hey, Giulia. And they gave me a hug. And like, I'm like, oh, they don't remember. Like,
no.
It was like not a thing. And it was just so weird to be back here. And then, and then I like reached out to Adam like a month later and was like, hey, no pressure. I used to work here. I would love to like come back if you have room.
But see how you did that? That's amazing.
I don't think I said no pressure, but I was like, hey, I'm Giulia.
But you introduced yourself like, look, I haven't been here in a minute because this is what happens. Now the place is busy. Everybody wants in.
Yeah.
When you were here in 2000, there wasn't a lot of people here. No, there was nights.
Yeah.
Especially as a waitress, Maria would know. We would have to cut people. You would have like 5 customers sometimes, like it was awful. We weren't making money. But now that it's busy, people that weren't coming here when it was dead, I mean, you moved back east, whatever.
Yeah.
Now they're like, it's bullshit that I'm not a regular there. I'm like, wait a minute. You got passed like 13, 14 years ago and never came in. Like some people 20 years and they're like, it's bullshit. I need to just be in there. My name's on the fucking wall. And I'm like, that's not how it works. Like, can't you just hit up the booker nicely like that?
Yeah.
I say, hey man, like ego aside, I get it. You're a funny person, but hey, I would like to start working there again. I worked there a long time ago. Whatever. Yeah. And he responded. And
he was like, come in and do 5 minutes. And I was like, great. And then what was so lovely was that Ari was in town, Ari Shafir. And was hosting
potluck.
Yeah,
he does usually once in a while. Yeah,
and it was so.
I'm here.
I want
to see who the fucking door guys
And it was just nice to walk in and see a familiar face.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, like, because like I hadn't been here in forever, and I was like, it was weird to be back. And he was like, this is your place, and I was like, oh yeah. And then I had a great set, and then I started working here again, and
amazing.
It was lovely, and a little bit of that, like, I don't know if it's California or here, but I'm like, I made it my, like the last 2 years, like my number one goal has been to like try to achieve that I don't give a fuckness. I mean, I'll never have it the way I did because it was a thing.
Yeah.
But like, it's great that I've made that my goal rather than like, you must write 5 screenplays or like something like that. Because I think that feeling of like
screenplay a week.
Yeah. Oh my God. but that's also New York energy. Like in New York, I'd be like, I'm going to do a million things and I'm always late and I'm running, you know.
True.
Here I'm like in a hammock smoking a joint being like, what do I want? What does Giulia want? You know?
Who am I anyway?
Who am I?
Just doing chorus line.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so it's been
my favorite, like with you and Maria coming to see me wrestle.
Yes.
Was my favorite.
The best.
I still have that picture on my wall, and it's you two in Easy Rider t-shirts that you made out of glitter. Obviously, you had a lot of glitter.
Yeah.
I did not realize
it was the glitter pen. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. We came.
One of you had a hat.
Maria, I think, wore a cowboy hat.
Like a cowboy hat. Hilarious.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
And I think you guys were like even on TV because of it. Like
probably.
in the crowd.
Yeah.
Because I have either a screenshot or something like, I'm like, oh my God,
yeah.
it's Maria and Giulia. Like, so exciting.
But like, also, as far as I don't give a fuckness, how could I give a fuck when my bestest friend was here every night with me?
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? Like she would come and watch my sets, and I don't remember Maria, but the way Maria laughed, she goes, like it's like this really distinct laugh, and I know her like. So when she would laugh at me, I'd be like, oh, I'm killing. I mean, maybe I wasn't killing, but I was making her laugh, and that was like all I cared about. So I was having the fucking time of my life. I kind of have that with my husband now too, so that's nice.
I love that. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
amazing.
You. Yeah.
Now, what are you doing the road? What are you doing?
I mean, I'm going to back east next month, and then I'm going to Europe to do shows in September, which I'm really excited about.
Italy?
No, I'm going to go to Germany, Switzerland, London.
All right. Hang out with the Nazis a little bit.
Yeah,
I like it.
So, I mean, traveling, like writing a couple things, just working on
that's amazing.
Stuff.
Well, I'm thrilled you're back. I think you're hysterical.
Thank
and you. I can't believe Ari brought you up as a new paid whatever. We just like to break Ari's balls.
I love it. I mean, I don't.
Me and the booker Adam were torturing him. Like, dude, really? You didn't know? And he's like, I'm sorry. Like thinking he's gonna get fired.
I know he came to me to apologize.
But we love to fuck with people. So it's a thing.
Could you imagine if I was like, yeah.
Execute him?
Yeah.
Okay, bye. Like, just, you don't know who I am? Hello?
It is a weird thing.
I got passed first time out
but
of
when
the
I,
gate.
When
Not
I
easy.
First started working here again, because it took me a while for me to get to know, like, the new door guys and them to get to know me. And I, like, the same way I would hate, like, back in the day, going to a club and being like, I'm on the list. Like, it feels so gross.
Guys,
that's what it feels like here sometimes when you're like, I'm a paid regular. I'm sorry. They're like, you can't go. I'm like, I can't. I'm a paid regular, and they're like, oh,
they covered it.
I'm so sorry. And I was like, no, I'm not.
It's okay.
This is as uncomfortable for me as it is for you. I'm just letting you know. I'm just a human. You're just a human. We're all doing fine.
Everybody's fine.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for jumping in. You're absolutely amazing.
You're great.
I can't wait to see your husband perform as well.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
And then we'll get him in here.
Cool.
Yeah, he's black. They got
you need diversity.
Upper hand. I'm just kidding. I torture everyone that's black. All right. Giulia Rozzi, do you have a website?
Yeah.
What's your social?
Social is, GiuliaRozzi.com. It's spelled
Not
with a G.
your social security.
My website.
Social media.
Oh, social.
What did I say?
I'm 87. When you said, what's your social? I was like,
not giving my social security out online.
It's GiuliaRozzi.com is my website. Giulia Rozzi on Twitter, and then Ms. MS Giulia Rozzi on Instagram, because there's another Giulia Rozzi in Italy who's like 14 who hasn't posted in 4 years. It's Giulia with a G. You can figure it out.
Giulia with a G. Very cool. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Giulia, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to rate, subscribe. Go to my website. Bunch of dates coming up. I don't know when this is coming out. It might be in Edmonton when this comes out. But if you're in Canada, Calgary, Edmonton. My brain is dead. Edmonton, come on out. All right. Thank you guys so much.